They're really treating it like a threat. And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well. Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Wanna be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Sponsors taken care of right off the top. Bull Bitcoin and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow
quality entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset. I mean, it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
I was just fucking kidding when I said
Len came to the show waiting room and he's like, "All right, buddy, let's get this thing started." I said, "Okay, yeah."
No, I can quote it, man, but it's whatever.
Good to see everyone. Len, good to see you too, buddy. Welcome back to the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast here on the eve of Truth and Reconciliation Day. Len, the most obvious question here: what are you doing to reconcile?
Yeah, I got a tennis match scheduled tomorrow at 9:30.
Are we?
It's for me. I am mentally at one with myself when I do that. So all the things that happen to the human race, to individuals, it just washes off me, and I feel cleansed after that. It's my ritual, my spiritual cleansing, so to speak. Yes. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm going to, I don't know, probably I have to go see our friend Twan tomorrow, which I'll talk about, maybe during the 256 Heat ad. So I'll go see him tomorrow. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow as well, since, that seems like the right day to do it. And that's about it. I don't know. I really have nothing special planned. Do something with my daughter and my wife, I guess. And tomorrow night I will be, the guest of honor at my own birthday dinner, which passed recently. So I will be going to my in-laws for a bite to eat tomorrow night.
I hope you're the guest of honor. Your own fucking right. Whatever. Oh, that's good. Are you going to be cleansed after that? Is your conscience going to be clear?
My conscience is clear. I have
your conscience is fine. Like you don't have something burdening you.
No, I have many thoughts on that I won't share on the show, but you can guess what they are on this, Truth and Reconciliation Day. But anyway, let's talk about the sponsors and we'll get into the program. EasyDNS is the best place for you to buy a domain, host a domain, port a domain. Mark is a good friend of the show. Was actually here on Friday. Him and I did a podcast and went out for lunch at the Collins in Dundas. Very quality program because Mark is a very quality guy. And if you're looking for something to help you get your business off the ground, website, blog, you want to host a podcast, whatever, Mark and EasyDNS can take care of that for you. They do it for us. They do it for Access of Easy. They do it for hundreds of thousands of other people. I think hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many clients they have, but a bunch of clients. And there's no better place to host for a few reasons. One, because it's secure. You can get easy mail, domain share, a couple extra bucks, lock down your data, lock down your client list, lock down all those things. Second is it's uncensorable. Mark will not take you down. He's talked about this. We've talked about it. And, with stuff going on in the UK now and Canada, probably not far down the line, you want to have someone like EasyDNS backing you up. And then third, obviously, Len, before it was cool, taking Bitcoin and using Bitcoin as a treasury asset. We love that. You guys love that. So go over to EasyDNS. CBP Media is the code and get 50% off your first cart, your first round of buys. That's what we do for you here at the show. Who's the other sponsor?
Bull Bitcoin. Great place to buy, sell your Bitcoin. I don't know what the price is. Whatever the price is, it's a good time.
115, 114, something like that. It's a good day today.
All right, there you go. So in Canuck bucks, I have no idea what that would be. 160-ish, give or take, whatever the heck it may be. You could do your buys and sells on Bull Bitcoin. They have your security and privacy in mind. Just listen to the team, listen to them talk, listen to Francis, and you'll understand what the ethos is over a Bull Bitcoin. You do on-chain, you could do Lightning. I haven't checked the on-chain fees, but I still think they're rather cheap last I checked.
They're low.
Continually do those, but once they do creep up, which eventually will happen, at least you could do something with Lightning over there. You could do limit orders. You could pay people with your Bitcoin. It ends up in fiat through the e-transfer. You could buy gift cards. You could pay your bills with Bitcoin. So many things you could do with them. They're available in Canada, Western Europe, Costa Rica, Argentina. Did I miss anywhere? Anywhere.
I don't think
Anyways,
so. That's pretty
I
good.
think I covered it all. Check it out. Use our link below if you haven't yet signed up to them. If you haven't, what the heck are you waiting for? And if you do sign up using our code, all your buys in perpetuity are going to be a little bit cheaper. So you might as well do it. Check them out.
Yeah.
And they're non-custodial. I forgot to mention they are non-custodial.
No rug pulls allowed over on Bull. And then obviously the third sponsor, Canadian Bitcoin Conference. I will be the MC at that conference this year. We have a packed agenda full of really high quality speakers, really high quality content. I know one of you guys said that there was too many suit coiners in the speakers list. I disagree. I think there's a lot of good Bitcoiners who have recently sort of come into their own as voices in the space. You may disagree with stuff like the treasury strategy stuff, but these people are still Bitcoin hodlers, even if they hodl other things as well. And I think the conference is going to be quite good. Not to mention, Len, all Canadian content, more or less, which is really, really nice. Tomorrow night, you can come to this too if you want, Len. I don't know what you're up to, but at 8:30, I think, 7:30 or 8:30, me, Dan Carlin, Joe Barbuto, the Econ Longwave, and his usual Spaces host, Joe Rampart, are going to be doing a space on Canada, Bitcoin, the conference, all these different things, try and get people hyped up for the conference, number one, but also because I think there's a lot going on in Canada, and there's a bunch of people who understand something is happening, but maybe don't understand that Bitcoin can help you navigate these tumultuous waters. And so we're trying to get people involved and interested in all this stuff. So we are excited about all of this, and we hope to see you guys there tomorrow night. I think it's in my Twitter profile. I'll pin it right now just in case it's lost in the sauce there.
Name the suit coiners that are showing up to the. I guess I don't want to go back to this.
Jeff Wall, one that people don't like because he's a MSTR guy. There's a few others too. Jeff Walton, punter Jeff. He's a young fella from the States who's really been on this MSTR.
Is he the British dude?
He's not British. He's American. And he actually was a college punter and has a video on YouTube of him punting it, I think 67 yards. Pretty good.
How come he's not in the pros if he's punting it that far? What's the hang time?
I mean, you gotta punt it that far every time to be in the pros. But that's a pro level punt. That's
good accuracy. Hang time is another one. Like Reggie Roby was famous for out kicking his return team.
Out kicking your coverage. Out kicking your coverage. Yeah.
He was the only guy that would wear a watch when he kicked the ball, and he used to make fun of him. He used to look at his watch when kicking. He just didn't care about it.
I know a lot of you guys in the chat here saying Jeff is a good guy. I think he is too. And yeah, he's in shape for sure. I'm looking forward to meeting him and a few other people that I've done appearances on other shows with and talked to on Twitter and DM'd with. And Jeff and I have our disagreements, but I think one of the things I try and do, and I think you try and do this too, Len, you can kind of tell if someone's pure of heart, if they're a con man, scammer. And we talk about scamming all the time on this show. And I do not think that he is a scammer. I think he's a good dude. So I'm looking forward to that. And you guys should be too. So join us tomorrow night. Get a ticket to the conference. We don't have a promo code or anything, but if you haven't picked up a ticket yet, you ought to. It's going to be a great time in Montreal, October 16th, 17th. And probably part of the 18th too, if you stay up late enough on the 17th at the end of the conference.
When does it start?
Getting a few beers. It's Friday the 16th.
It's Thursday 16th.
Oh, Thursday the 16th. Yeah, sorry. Oh, so is it 17th and 18th? I don't know. I should know the date of the conference, obviously, but
I think it's 16, 17, 18. That's the number that comes to mind. It's not just
I don't think it's not 3 days. It's not 3 days. Everyone should be going to the website anyways, and looking at the agenda because there's going to be a lot of good talks. Mark and I are doing one on Bill C8, which is in the news these days. I'll be up there as well 16, with 18. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, but Thursday night there's not really too much going on. It's like a business / corporate event on Thursday night, plus a little bit of a bar meetup too. So
starts at 1 p.m. on Thursday. They have a decentral workshop going on there.
Yeah. So the conference proper starts Friday. It's Friday and Saturday.
So go check. I mean, if you can check out that decentral workshop. They used to partner up with us, and I like them, and I still have my
same.
It's just hashing away.
Look at the size of that.
Although the screen is not working that well these days. Sometimes I just have to tap it to make it work. Other than that, like it still does its thing. I could check the pool and all right. Boost.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, Boost. You know what? This was an odd one because we got a bunch of people writing in with the same amount of sats. I'll explain. So wartime twice, 133 sats. First one, he writes in, a lot of people used Trade Ogre. Sorry. If I had anything there, it was some shitcoins from years ago that I don't care about. Laugh out loud. And Wartime also writes in 133 sats. He says, a degen birdie told me a little secret. Use liquid if you are willing. Sorry, if you're swing trading USDT, atomic swap, self-custody, no exchange risk. Still level of trust when you're dealing with any of those. With Bitcoin, trust is all you. And I like that. That's the one I choose. And yeah. Even Lightning, it's still, you know, say what you want about it. It's a pre-signed 2 of 2 multi-sigs. And so you could, anytime you could get out of it by just closing the channel and going from there. So
yeah,
it's still Bitcoin. Still Bitcoin.
Totally.
Top W Cone writes in twice, 250 sats. First one, it's a 2-part message. And he writes in, we also see a lot more. Sorry, he says, I got it wrong. EMSs, some places are part of FIRE. He says, had the highest non-combat rate of PTSD. We see, hear, smell, touch, and are part of some of the worst moments in person's life. There is no normal shift, interrupted sleep. If you get any, no meal breaks, no stopping to rest. Worst is the swing in calls. First run, old man slid out of a recliner, lift assist. Then short of air, 21-year-old anxiety attack. Then 4-year-old drowning, 57-year-old injured, toe possible gangrene. Can't believe that happens these days.
Yeah.
19-year-old fever, overdose, 37-year-old club, blah, blah, blah. He says, go home and fall asleep for 4 hours and go back to work. We are hiring. Paramedics start 18 USD per hour.
It's not much.
That's his number one. He says, we also see a lot more combat troops. I'm an Army Reserve member. This guy's been doing a lot for the U.S., and he had 8 deployments since 2002.
Wow.
He's been an EMT/paramedic in his civilian job since 97. He sees more gunshot wounds in EMS than in the military. I could believe that in the States especially, and a lot more dead people. Many of those I was actively trying to save. The movie Code 3, never heard of it, is very close to what we do. And Bring Out Your Dead by Nick Cage is in it. Another movie I never heard of, Bring Out Your Dead, show a lot of the emotional side of the job. So, yeah, there you go.
EMS, yeah. First of all, thank you for your military service. I mean, I'm not an American, but God knows you guys are doing more to protect this country than we are. So thank you for that. It's a difficult job. I think a lot of EMS guys are underselling the difficulty that they have at work. And I think I said this on the show. This is obviously talking about what we discussed last week. I think. About how, you know, when EMS guys, fire department, EMS, whatever, get to a scene, you know, he describes it so well there. He or she describes it so well there. The idea that you're going to see everything, you know, on the radar from call to call, including some of the worst things possible. And it's weird, right? I think people are talking more and more about the toll that seeing a dead body or a death does on your brain. You know, your brain's not wired to see death every day. And whether it's on Twitter or in person, it's too much. It's too much. And, you know, in person specifically, and probably a lot more acutely, you notice changes probably in the way you think and view things and the way you view going to work and thinking about work and all that. So I don't envy it, but it's a job that someone's got to do. And I'm glad that we have good people doing it here and in the States as well.
And Jared, 10,000 sats. Thank you. Quite a bit of
shout out to you, man.
As someone who spends about 1/3 of the week on healthcare problems, this is a must listen. Fantastic rip, Joey. And this is with your rip you did last
Yeah, I'm proud of that show. I got a lot of good feedback on that show. Thank you, Jared, for your feedback as well. Healthcare, man, in this country it's the problem isn't that it's necessarily bad. It's not bad for everybody 100% of the time, but the big problem is that it seems to be bad when you need it the most. And I appreciate and understand that it may feel that way, because if your situation is dire, you may find yourself thinking that if I don't get help, then I'm not going to make it, or my life is going to change or be irreparably damaged or whatever. But I think, you know, there's more to it than that. And again, like, I'll point to my own situation. I mentioned it on the show. I've mentioned it here before. I just tore an ACL at the end of July and had the operation before the end of August. Why? Because I was able to use some of my own capital to get the imaging done and cash in on some connections to get the surgery done. And I think that a lot of people, you know, with money would do that. and help clear some of the backlog in the system for people who can't. And Mo and Brian brought up great points on that show, specifically though, that this ideology, this idealism that Canadians have about healthcare is misplaced. And the idea that we have about how two-tier healthcare will only benefit the rich is false. The rich are not doing anything anyways that's going to impact the healthcare that poor people get. I'm not rich by any stretch. I have, a little bit of money thanks to Bitcoin, but for me to even do something like that, I would do that every time. I would do it for my daughter, my wife, members of my family, but I'm not allowed, or they don't want to even. My father just waited 9 months for an MRI. And it's like, people have to realize this is happening, because as Mike Campbell says, and as we mentioned on the show, the thing about Canadian healthcare is that it's not something you really understand until you're, until it's got you by the balls, right? Until you're a victim in that system. And if you can't advocate for yourself, if you get picked up by an ambulance and, you don't have family, or your family's out of town or out of country, like that's not the place you want to be with this healthcare system. So anyway, yeah, Mo is a guy that I've known now for a little while. He actually joined the CBP Dry January Telegram group, and that group kept 4 people in it that we talk almost every day, if not every day. And so, having his views there, he's a guy who's super bright, doing a lot of great stuff, trying to get private care going in Canada and a few provinces. Dr. Brian Day, obviously just legendary. Before the show, I don't think Mo will mind me sharing this. Before the show, Mohammed was saying to Brian, like, I've never met you, but I know all about your work. We used to talk about your case studies and your efforts when I was in med school all the time, because everybody is thinking about this stuff and no one seems willing to champion it. And Dr. Day's done that. And so I was happy to have him on. Really glad he agreed. And I think you guys, if you haven't listened to it yet, you'll really enjoy it. You'll really enjoy that show.
All right. That's it.
So you got P-Man here. I need a knee replacement. The doc told me when I actually decided to do it, he said it's minimum a year. It's funny. Like my, I don't know how old you are, P-Man, but my father-in-law just had a hip replacement and basically went from diagnostic to surgery in like 7 weeks, because they decided that diagnosis was like more urgent here in Ontario. I live in Southern Ontario. And so it's busy as all hell here. But like there's some, and we talked about this on the program too. I think I mentioned it to you at Workland. And so the idea of like, that like there's an opaque rubric somewhere that tells people what they can expect when it comes to care, but you're not allowed to see it. I think I said this to you. I'll say it to you guys if you haven't listened yet. Dr. Day tried to get these rubrics from provinces. What is the safe wait time for people? He couldn't get it. He had to subpoena the courts, or had the courts subpoena, I think, British Columbia, and was able to get 1 year of data for some conditions, and that's it. 2017. Like it's really not fair. And yeah, P-Man, 61 is, that's about the right age to get a knee replacement if you need it. 61, 62, 63, right? It's supposed to last about 20 years. I feel for people like that, because presumably you've paid into the system your whole life and now you need it. And you're like, I got to wait a year. Meanwhile, don't get me started on who's taking up, ER resources and whatnot. It's like, by the way, it's not just immigrants. It's like, if you go to the fracture clinic here in Hamilton, even if you have an appointment, because of the area that it's in downtown Hamilton. So if you get a break, you go see one of the surgeons there, whether it's Dr. Denkers or one of these other, big names in the city, you're getting usurped in line by DV victims and drug users and homeless, and like something will give at some point. And I fear that it's going to be civility more than it's going to be a change in the system.
No, it's not like that. You're not getting sideswiped. This happened all of a sudden. This is a continual change in the way things, you could change the way things are around you. And if you can't do that, just change the surroundings around you. And, that's your 2 options. Pick one of the 2, whatever works for you, and live with it. That's your options.
Totally.
All right. Let's talk about Bitcoin now, because this is the Canadian Bitcoiner podcast. And I think the big story we should lead off this week, there's a huge story. And the biggest one, I guess, this week, maybe even this cycle, and I'm surprised a lot of people still aren't really talking about it. It's the breaking the pro-Bitcoin candidate in Ivan Calderon in California launches his governorship over there. So he's going to be running for the Democrats. Breaking. This is fucking big news. And I'm so happy to see this. This is just, I was ecstatic. Anyway,
why is
this?
Okay.
I don't give a fuck. I a lot of people I finally have come to grip that the people that were spearheading this and trying to big announcement and all this shit, they fucking blocked the dude in the end. Like I muted him a long time ago. It just makes sense. And
talking about Dennis.
Yeah, it cleaned up my timeline, right? You don't need this fucking shit, right? But one thing I did learn from all this, this guy Ian Calderon might have a chance, may not. I don't give a fuck. It's even if he does, like, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? He's going to be like every other Bitcoin politician that's been around. Gavin Newsom's not running.
Yeah,
and the reason why he's not running is they have a 2-term limit in California. I thought he was going to run again, but
you know where you see him next for sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
That may be the reason why he didn't run last time. He wanted to finish his tenure here and not be steamrolled in the last election to give him a shot to run the next one. Or who knows? Either way, he's not going to be the governor of California. This guy, Ian Calderon, has a chance. How big is it? Who knows? Who gives a shit? Breaking. Let's move on, right?
Yeah, I don't care about this. Love Dennis. I'm not an anti-Dennis guy, but this one I thought was a bit much.
That's never been any good news.
The guy's a relative unknown too, right? Porter's done some good stuff. He's pushed some legislation through, and you can put different values on that for sure. But I was a little disappointed because it's one thing to have a Bitcoin politician running, but it'd be nice if you were able to like tie your wagon to a horse that was known and had some firepower. This guy is, as far as I can tell, he's a relative unknown, which, when you add Bitcoin to your platform and no one knows your name, I'm not sure that helps.
He was the former majority leader in the state. So
let's see how it goes.
At least has some pedigree over there. But like I say,
I know a lot of state politicians, and you do too. And
do I?
Some of them, but neither of us have heard that guy's name before. So,
and we'll probably hear him a little bit more, and that's about it. Just disappear into the sunset. Like guys like Mealy, right? Like what the fuck? That guy was supposed to be like pro Bitcoin, and what happened with him? Right?
Who, Isaac Mealy?
Is it Isaac Mealy? The guy
Javier Mealy?
Javier, yeah.
The guy in Argentina.
Yeah, Mr. Mealy.
Yeah, Javier Milei, yeah. With the hair, yeah, exactly.
He's again. Anyways, so let's talk about something that's bigger. This Save Bitcoin with an alleged hard fork that's being proposed by at least allegedly proposed by Luke. The Rage came up with a hit piece, and they got their hands on some signal messages at that too, Joey.
I know.
From Luke. I don't know how they got their hands.
Screenshots.
Yeah. So
someone in the chat. Yeah.
It was a 2-person chat, Luke and the other person, whoever the other person was. Like Luke obviously lost trust in that person because who else would have gotten? Nobody intercepted it. And in the chat, like at least they're talking about or trying to make it look like there's going to be a change to Bitcoin through an essential hard fork as a way to save it, and just because of certain type of spam that is currently ending up on Bitcoin, and will potentially more of it will come in the future if there's some changes with consensus, with protocol. What's some of the things they're saying on the advice of Ocean's lawyers? They're saying, according to the article, the mining pool founded by Luke, this is Ocean, right? The Knots team decided it's better if the letter is not perceived to be coming from them. So they're trying to somehow saying that this whole spearheading of this hard fork would not be coming from Ocean and or Luke. Funny, I'm not sure if you took a look, but Udi of all people, the guy that Foss apologized.
I knew you were going to bring this up. Yeah.
There was an apology and it was accepted, which is interesting. Anyway, Udi of all people, he was defending Luke. He wrote a very lengthy piece both on X and on Stacker.news. And he's right in his assessment because, like, number one, sharing the private message is a piece of shit for doing that, right? Like, it's a private message between two people, right? There's some level of confidentiality between it. If you're going to break that, your word is your bond. Once you break that, you have nothing after that. Plus, when you take a screenshot of something, you're not getting the full scope of the conversation. You may be taking stuff out of context. And I'm not saying it's applicable here, but it's potentially applicable here. You need to know everything, the whole conversation before you could come to a conclusion. And there's good points here that Udi is making, that there's also disconnection between the texts and the message that is being portrayed in the article, in that there's a hard fork and this like there's no alteration of data on that's gonna be stored on Bitcoin. There's no BIP, there's no PR submitted, there's no nothing. It seems like it's just a smear campaign, a hit piece against Luke. Luke's made a lot of people upset over the years, and he continues to do that. He's got to watch himself.
Okay, where do you come down on this? Do you think that it's legit? I mean, the I want to say conspiracy.
Hard fork? Hard fork?
Yeah, hard fork, I doubt. But I do think that Luke is probably trying to build consensus around something that is not the current iteration of Bitcoin.
Yeah, but it's not going to require a hard fork. Maybe
no, yeah, you're right. But
a hard fork, or
here's
have two different.
Yeah, Boomer saying the same thing. Like this whole core versus not thing has to stop. It's got to stop. Let people run what they want. Everything works. The whole point of the software is that it's interoperable, backwards compatible, all these different things. And if you run a node, then do whatever you want with that node. And we got to stop talking about this. We have to. There's a lot of stuff going on that Bitcoiners should be like united about. And instead we're wasting our time. Like I see like Mechanic and Lavera and Luke Dasher, whatever, like all these people talking.
These are people in Bitcoin.
Nick Szabo coming out of retirement. Like who?
So these are all people within Bitcoin.
Michael Saylor,
you tell the fucking Rage to stop fucking doing this. Because if it's somebody in Bitcoin, they have a vested interest, they're working on it, there's shit like that. Now you have this third party come in and write an article that has no connection.
Len, do you realize that this is like the fourth probably week out of the last 5 or 6 where we've talked about something that the Rage released?
But it was on Axis of Easy we were talking about.
Well, whatever. These guys are suddenly everywhere. I had never heard of these guys before 2 months ago. Had you?
No, and if we weren't doing Axis of Easy, we probably hear them for the first time this week.
Yeah. So like where did these guys come from? Who are they talking to get private messages from people in screenshots? Like that's a good connection to have. So I'm curious, like there's a lot of things here that they make me think twice about who's doing what and who's on what team. And I have never been more sure that there are people working for governments, rival projects, trying to sabotage Bitcoin at the social layer, and maybe now also at the technical layer as well. I think that's probably a safer bet than it's ever been.
Do you think this is going to stop, or is this going to end here?
It's definitely not going to end here.
Right.
There's too many. Like the reason
next
is
week
because
we'll hear the same thing.
Yeah, and like I love that. I love the passion, Mechanic, and all these other guys. But like you guys just need to fucking go to the gym and fuck your wife and do whatever else, and like just get your annoying conquering urge out some other way besides subtweeting at people, taking screenshots of people's tweets because you don't want to mention them, saying hey, you conveniently did this. You seem to have forgotten about that when you're tweeting at people. It's annoying. And again, like one of my biggest problems with Bitcoin has been and will continue to be just the absolutely like hilariously low levels of testosterone with some of these people. You don't see this when you have other ways to get these conquering urges out. And to me, it's like obvious what's going on here, but that's my personal view.
Have you ever heard the theory? I saw it sort of thrown around. I don't subscribe to it, but a lot of this is just being done for monetary reasons.
Tell me more.
Well, putting out YouTube videos.
You're talking about just getting clicks, like really
right. And I don't subscribe to this theory.
Okay.
I believe that they actually believe in this, and
they're
not doing this for patting their pocketbook.
If Mechanic puts out another hour-long video, he's gonna start to look like fucking David Koresh. Like there's no need to keep on putting out these like hour-long talking to the camera. There's just no need.
You Mechanician? Is that what we
branch Mechanicians? But like I don't know how much longer we're going to be putting up with this, honestly. But whatever. Yeah, Guillaume, I see your comment there. Regardless of anything, I'm on the right team. Yes, same. Well, if Bitcoin hard forks, what's the adoption rate going to be? 0.03%, 0.01%. It'll be no one.
Correct.
I want to hear like there's people whose opinion, by the way, that I would care about for something like this. Like, you know, I'm biased, but like if Francis had a half-hour video on core versus not, so I'd probably watch it. He's been around, he's got some technical competence, understands the economics of Bitcoin, runs a Bitcoin company. Like, yeah, I would listen to him. I would listen to even to a guy like Paul Stork, who's, you know, I don't necessarily agree with drive change, but I think he's a guy who's not a con man, and doesn't need the money probably. Like he's running his own kind of whatever research and development operation. Like he doesn't need the cash. I'd listen to him.
Don't say that, because sometimes greed.
Maybe listen. It's not a bulletproof explanation. I know.
Correct. Okay.
Thank you, but it's not
okay,
like, you know what I'm saying. There are some people I'd listen to. Like, do you have anyone that hasn't chimed in where if they put out a half-hour video, you'd be like, yeah, we should watch that? No.
You know what? I like listening to all sides. I attend the spaces.
I see you in there. Yeah.
I listen to, because I want to hear all sides of them, and I don't agree. And I said this before. I don't agree with anybody in entirety. Like anybody in this earth, I will point out that I have a different viewpoint on something, and even on this, like somebody may have a viewpoint, and I will agree with it mostly, but maybe not 100%. I think that I'm more on the not side of things.
Do you run knots?
There's no
your node.
I run both. I run both of them, because again,
you don't run core 30. You run core 29 or something.
27
right?
or 26, whatever. 26.
But you're back. Yeah, you're going backwards. Okay. And we should be clear. Like you've mentioned this to me before, and maybe you've mentioned it on the show, but you're not running 30 because of the spam. You don't run the newest version because you want to see the kinks worked out. You go with the latest, stable, tested, battle tested version. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so there's going to be a point in time I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I run 29 or 30? So that's going to be a few years from now, a couple of years.
Maybe you can make an hour-long video about it in your basement. You'll fit right in.
No, I'm not going to, because
we need the plays. We need the plays. Get the plays. I'll make a thumbnail of you looking surprised, tying a knot around something, and it'll be good.
Look at my shoe. I'll tie the shoe that has the flappy thing. But whatever you are, just doesn't really matter as long as you're running a implementation. It's better than not. So Boomer's think he won't be running version 30 now.
The long and short, by the way, before you go into this, sorry, I see P-Man in the chat asking this. I'm sure people who listen don't dig into this. If you don't learn anything technical about knots versus core, the problem is that there's one version of this that lets you kind of the node respecting version where you can pick what your node propagates and quote unquote prevent spam. And then the other version, core, it doesn't just not have that. It actually takes it away in version 30. So it's restricting the things you can and can't do with your node as far as, you know, what some people would call spam transactions.
And that's a bullshit move.
I think so too. Taking it away is nuts. Yeah, taking it away is nuts.
Give people an option. If they don't run it, make it non-default. And if somebody wants to default into it, all the more power to them. But rather just saying you can't do it, I think that's a rather bullshit move, if you ask me. And it's getting very close to being finished, because there was another release candidate that came out today. I remember reading. So they're on I guess a few weeks away, maybe a month or so away from version 30 coming out. And then it's going to be off to the races. It's going to be fun to see exactly what happens at that point. It's a lot of fireworks and shit like that. But
yeah.
SBF did a tweet. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not sure you do.
Why did he tweet that?
It wasn't him.
Good morning. Did it say GM?
GM.
That said? Yeah.
A lot of people
when I tweet GM in the morning, there's like 20 bots that reply GM Joey with like suns and coffees and all sorts of stuff.
Did he not send you one?
He didn't send me one. Sam, no, he didn't send me one.
So it's not from him apparently. This is from it's not known if the account was hacked or not, because it's the X bio now reads SBF's words bracket mostly. And it says shared by a friend. That's what it says on the X account. So
it's like Thomas Sowell quotes on Twitter now, sending out anti-immigrant tweets all the time. I don't remember Thomas Sowell saying that.
So it's possible this could have been hacked.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah. There's a slight possibility. We know somebody that had their X account hacked this past week.
We do?
Yeah, I don't want to say it. It was in one of the chats we were part of, and we'll leave it at that.
Then the Lords?
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. And then also if that guy also got his SEC, remember they're fucking they control everything with their trading, but they can't even deal with a fucking X account. So this could be potentially they got hacked. The FTT token went up 50% after he tweeted. I still can't believe people own that fucking shit.
That's a legendary move.
Just
it's a
fucking
legendary
close the door to this bullshit. See you later. Anyways, anything else you want to mention on this SBS bullshit?
Not really. I guess I'll just note that a man tweeting from jail is not a man whose tweets you should be listening to. As a general rule. Safe to say? I think it's safe to say. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, now we're talking about it. Who's in jail? Whose tweets would you want to see if they were in jail? OJ Simpson, R.I.P.
He's gone.
He'd be a good one to follow, though.
Maybe, but he's now gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
There may be somebody that that would be, depending on the jurisdiction, right? He could have been put, or she could have been put away for a crime that you don't agree with.
Yeah, I guess.
Right, and so maybe you want to listen to that person.
I'm not saying anything.
It's all theoretical.
This. Yeah. Okay.
So, and this is one that came out, and I can't believe this made fucking news. Is Circle? Those are the folks behind the USDC stablecoin. They are exploring the possibility of reversible transactions.
Shocker.
No, man.
Mark Goodwin vindicated again. There is literally nothing that Mark Goodwin has been wrong about in the last 2 years. Nothing.
Wait. But who would have thought that a centralized shitcoin that you can't mine, you can't verify transactions, you have no fucking say in the network whatsoever.
Yeah.
They have the potential of reversing transactions like Ethereum did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing here missing is that you don't have Vitalik going out there and saying, guys, stop trading. That's the only thing we fucking
I mean, the actual thing also missing is a picture of a president or prime minister on the note, right? It's the same as fiat currency here. It's very, very similar.
And so what I'm trying to
we talked about this, by the way, Len, that the deputization of these companies, that they will, the government, like when you ask, the next logical question is who's going to want to censor a transaction? The answer is the government.
They have always had the ability to, not the government. I'm talking a US or Circle has all. Yeah. Same with Tether. They've blacklisted wallet addresses in the past. Because it's centralized. There's a centralized body that can control whatever they want to do, and you have no say whatsoever. So I can't believe this made news, because anybody that didn't believe this, really, Joey, we've got that proverbial bridge to sell them, because how fucking dumb have those people been? This is just an indication why we like Bitcoin. You try reversing a Bitcoin transaction, it's not fucking happening. It just does not happen within Bitcoin. Once a transaction happens, it's done. For better or for worse, it's done. You can't piss off anybody to say, let's get this done, or this has been a hack, let's get this done. Like, no, man, that's fun. This USDC stuff, to me, it's just proving it's just centralized, but nobody should have been surprised by this. Nobody. And anybody that has, really, you were fucking dumb as shit. Anything got to add to this fucking thing?
Like I think you're 100% right. Some of this stuff was pretty obvious. You shouldn't, like, anything that has a centralized, like, that is centralized in nature as far as verification of transactions, doesn't require a blockchain. And the only reason you would have it on a blockchain is for buzz. But like, this stuff is just, it's so obvious to people who've been around more than a few years. But I guess still, Len, the people who are coming in now don't see it or don't care. One or the other has to be true. Circle's IPO was like gangbusters too. So like, it's
like
way
2x or 3x. From the time that it was, when that's one of the few IPOs I saw that went like crazy in the past while.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, personally, I don't have to say this. People listen to the show all the time. Like, I will be staying away from these things. Digital ID coin basically is what you're going to get if you participate in that kind of thing.
There's only Bitcoin, and everything else is just bullshit.
Everything else you're in the digital panopticon.
Now, this whole Semler and the ASST stuff.
What a mess.
There's a new thing that came out just a little while ago, about an hour ago, from Predator. He says that this is very interesting. Semler had to pay the DOJ a fine for whatever they did. And the fine in which they got the money to pay for it, they got a loan against their Bitcoin from Coinbase, $20 million in cash. So they have no fucking Bitcoin. They loaned their Bitcoin out to get cash to pay for a fine. That went out. And did you see this? The stock price for ASST, it just fucking tanked.
I believe it.
Like, was it 5 days?
I didn't look. I haven't looked at it, but I mean, at some point,
here it is. I'll give you the lowdown. It was on the September 11th. It was almost $9. It's now $2.30 right now.
Damn.
That's like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks.
What's the lesson there?
Tell me what the lesson is. I'm curious what
I think the lesson is, number one, that you just don't, this is my personal view, like not financial advice, but if you're going to buy something like a company that does a Bitcoin treasury, right? Then you either buy the leader or you lose. So if you want to buy something that's like, if you want to do chips in the equity market, you don't buy Intel because it's cheaper to buy a share. You buy NVIDIA at any price because they're the leader. And if you want to buy Bitcoin treasury companies, you don't fucking go buy Semler and NACA. You just buy MSTR if that's what you want. And it's not that hard, And I just think like people they're way overthinking this. We've said this on the show before. This is akin to buying alts and trying to, I'm buying alts to acquire more Bitcoin. Like it's the drone NPC line. Okay, well, this is what happens sometimes. You get Predator out there. Like, by the way, is there any more focused autistic person trying to take down these companies than Predator? Like, why would you ever buy a company where Predator has you in your crosshairs? Why would you ever put money in that company? Predator finds everything and 100% has people sending him stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some of this I would say like it's not all of his doing or her
for sure.
Or whatever. It's,
for sure.
Yeah. Some people. Now you mentioned Intel. I'll have to go back to that. Do you think that it's a better buy now than something else because now U.S. government owns a stake in it, like 10%?
No.
Because now there's a vested interest for the U.S.
government.
To see this thing work,
yeah, but they're still not gonna.
So I'm wondering.
Yeah, and so I want to just talk about this SMLR. Semler actually had a cash business. They don't now. They're like that medical business is being unwound, and the Bitcoin is the target of the acquisition. So it's like what are we doing here, man? Is the sort of phrase I would use. Because really, I just don't know why you'd buy in these companies at this point, unless you're buying SDR. They think you're going to hit it big. They think they're going to hit the lottery ticket. That's all it is.
It's what it is. You have these quote unquote big people in the space.
Yeah,
I'm just using the air quotes here.
Throw a couple names out.
Well, Predator came up with another one just today. I gotta go pull it up. I'm sorry.
Pull it up. Good content for the audio crowd.
He says this treasury company is not yet public, but a Twitter group for it has been created, and the entire moderation team is just a bunch of Bitcoin influencers.
Oh boy!
Safe to assume that these are insiders who will be dumping on you.
Livera.
Sam
Callahan, yeah.
Stefan Livera,
Yeah.
Eric Weiss. Those are the ones I could recognize, but there's other ones that you would probably recognize.
Send me the list. Send it to me. That's on Predator's feed. Let's look at it together. Why not? We got time here. People are watching and listening.
I retweeted it. So if you go to my account, it's like I only retweeted 2 things today, and that's the easiest one. I'm so inactive when it comes to Twitter with that stuff. So that just goes. That's what's happening. Is that people are big, like I call it, quote, big people in the space.
Anders too. Anders is another one.
Another one that he mentioned. Did you see like what Bitcoin did? I can't believe this is what Predator.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't believe we're talking so much about Predator. Predator, you're fucking great, by the way. I'm doing this to say like how great your account is. Anybody who hasn't followed Predator, PLETT, is that whatever the fuck it is?
PLEDDITOR.
Yeah. He was saying that what Bitcoin did, if you go look at their like last videos, it's all about treasury companies. Every single one.
Yeah. Danny's going to be like,
it's a shift. It's people are talking about it. We're talking about it. But I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else in between, I don't fucking do this to try to shill them. I'm shilling fucking Bitcoin. Buy fucking Bitcoin. All this other stuff is total fucking fiat nonsense. It will just get you wrecked in the end. And this is why I'm talking about it. But I think a lot of other people talk about it with the point of fucking raising the valuation of that. So there's exit liquidity, and they can sell their shit, dump it on you, they make bank, and then you fucking get the bags, those heavy bags. That
You
have to
are
carry
the
for
exit
rest of your life.
liquidity. Yeah, you are the exit
That's
liquidity.
that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Like at least with Bitcoin, it may go up and down in price, but those are your UTXOs. You got them forever as long as you don't lose the keys. Nobody could take that. You could take that from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Ask nobody to move that stuff. That's beautiful. That's fucking Bitcoin. And that's why I tell people to buy it, nothing else.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
Did you see that?
I still think that there's more pain to come in these treasury companies.
Because they don't. I don't really care.
There is like these guys all pump like. Say what you want about Saylor, but that guy has a fortress underneath him, and these other guys just do not. They do not. And I don't think the average investor realizes that. The average investor certainly does not realize there's pump and dump groups waiting to sell their shares. Like,
didn't you tell me last week that, or 2 weeks ago, that there's a group of these individuals and they're saying the best strategy is for one company to buy shares in another?
That's one of the guys in the MSTR. I don't even know what they call it. It might be called MSTR ADIQ. Oh no, it's like MSTR Bulls, something like that on Twitter. It's the biggest group. I can't remember the name of the group, but yeah, there's the suggestion is we should have these companies just buy shares in each other.
That's bullshit. Like
that might be end of the scam.
I would love to know what's the rationale for this. Why this is a good move. I would love to know.
Like, it's obviously not. It's obviously
correct.
Not. Yeah.
I
and by the way, MSTR doesn't have to do that. These other companies would be lucky if someone went about that. I said this to Mark in a voice note the other day too. Like, even if you are a big treasury company bull, okay, what happens when MSTR gets into the S&P? Because they will, and at the very least, they're going to get in before any of these other companies do. So what happens then? The company that you think is going to match MSTR and be the next MSTR, or the MSTR for this region, or it's the podcasters MSTR, it's PodConf approved MSTR, whatever, right? As soon as MicroStrategy gets onto the S&P, all these other companies are going to die, because the passive flows going into the S&P buying MSTR stock are going to give them the opportunity to really set outstanding terms on stuff like their prefs compared to these other companies. And you can't come back from that. There's already, I think, a slow but steady awakening about, like I said, the MSTR capital fortress. And once you have these guys on the S&P, like the risks, whatever risks there are significantly reduced once you add passive flows to the equation. And I don't understand what the end game is. If you're buying these companies but not buying MSTR, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. That's all there is to it. I mean, my co-host on the other side of the screen would say you're an idiot no matter what. If you're buying any of these companies, no matter which one you're buying, you're an idiot.
There's enough evidence to.
Len called me an idiot under his breath the other day. He thinks I didn't hear him. I heard him. We was talking about it.
Right. It's not like we didn't see that story of the lady that lost her parents.
Yeah.
And because that was locked up in RSP and shit like that. And you know what? $600,000 of inheritance gone for taxation. Hey man, you play in the fiat games, you're gonna win fiat prizes. So enjoy, and that's why I say, if you're gonna do it, like enjoy whatever is the result of all that.
Enjoy the pizza on Sailor's yacht, because you never know who's gonna be on that yacht next year. Also, do these people not realize that their whole career is based on their likability? Like Callahan and Brunel are married, I think. I'm pretty sure that's who got married a couple years ago. And it's like, you guys are only popular because you're likable. And if you remove that likability, you're going to find that no matter what you make on Bitcoin treasury companies, like you're going to have a worse time. And like your reputation, the older I get, the more I realize that your reputation is maybe the most important thing you have. So I personally, and I mean, me and you live by this. I'm not sacrificing my reputation for anything, no matter what. No matter what.
Talk about Brains.
Sure.
And those are the people behind Brains Pool, Stratum V2, and more. They just rolled out a new piece of hardware.
I love it. I want one of these things so bad.
It looks nice. It's called Brains Deck. 2 words, Brains Deck. Brains is BRAIINS. 2 I's in that, if people were wondering. It's a new piece of hardware that has integration with also the Brains Pool right out of the box. It lets you monitor the hash rate, rewards, tracks the price of Bitcoin in real time, accesses other macro insights, including stocks and more. So it's kind of like a block clock, but a little bit more. And let's be honest, it looks pretty slick, the Brains deck. And so does the block clock. I'm not going to shit on that because I have one and I like it. It does exactly what I need it to do. But for people who want to just track your hash rate on Brains, this is probably a good thing because, you're getting the uptime. You could do custom sound alerts, change it when the difficulty changes, mempool, block height, a lot of more. There's more than you could do than just with the block clock. Right now, there's an early bird price of $199 USD. If you want to check it out on brains.com. Remember, Brains is with two eyes. And if you use this, it's not my code, it's on their website. So I'm getting nothing from this. You get 5% off. The code is OG Miner, one word. You get 5% off using OG Miner. It's not my code, not ours. It's just simply there. Now, comparing the price, $199 for this. The block clock mini, which both of us have, is $399 as of yesterday. And the block clock micro is $189. So it's comparable to that in price. The micro is small. I'm not sure how big the Brains deck is. And if it's as small as the micro, then it's just, pick your poison or pick which one you like. But if it's as big as the block clock mini, well, maybe the Brains deck is the better buy. It's because it's about half the price. Actually, even less than half the price with that 5% off. I like it. It looks pretty cool. Have you seen the size of it? I want to do a comparison.
I'm looking on the website there. There's like a side table that looks to be, I don't know, somewhere between like 10 and 14 inches in diameter, and it takes up probably 2/3 of it. So I don't think it's that small. I bet you it's a little bit shorter than the block clock. If I have
a picture of it with a hand, and you know what? It looks like it's a little bit smaller than probably a little bit smaller than the block clock that we have, but bigger than the micro. So it's closer to the block clock that we have, but not quite as big.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the block clock that this thing definitely will not have is the fit and finish. The block clock has elite industrial design fit and finish. Elite. You will not find a better unit than that anywhere in the space. Certainly not for $199. I'll tell you that for sure.
The one thing I don't like about the block clock, actually, the only thing I don't like about the block clock is if there's ever a power failure or something along those lines, the only way for you to get it back online, you got to turn it off and turn it back on. And for me, it's just disconnecting the power. Other than that, it just doesn't automatically check it out and try to reconnect for you. You got to physically, disconnect it. Other than that, the thing is seamless. Like I don't have to do anything to it. I don't have to update it. It just fucking works. I do like the block clock. It's the fit and finish. You're right. It's solid. It's other than that, that's the only fucking gripe I have about it. And so how often does my power go out? It's very infrequent. So other than that,
for sure. Yeah, it's super rare, if at all, right?
But yeah, check this out. Like if you do want something like to like monitor Bitcoin price and you want a talking point, you don't want to shell out the money that you will for the block clock, definitely check out the Brains deck. It looks pretty damn cool. And this is the early bird price. It's going to go up in value once it gets released to the wild. Check it out. Fuck, maybe we could get somebody from Brains to come on and just showcase it to us.
Yeah,
maybe. We've had somebody on their show come on not too long.
We definitely did. We had at least one or two people over the years.
Czech guy. I forget his name. Pavel. Yeah. Fuck. Anyways.
No.
All right, let's talk about the SEC. Their chair, Akins, trying to get this innovative exemption to fast track crypto products.
We're getting rid of the laws, baby. We're going Wild West out there. Interesting. Very interesting.
And they wanted to get this in place by December 2025. And what is the exemption? Joy kind of referenced it. It's going to be temporary relief from existing security rules while the SEC develops tailored crypto regulations. So they said they're going to be looking with how to deal with crypto and use it within the walled gardens of the SEC. And they want to enable companies some flexibility when launching products. More Bitcoin lending, maybe, as a result of all this? Probably not. I know that they did launch the Project Crypto back in July to help modernize the security regulations around digital assets. I love this stuff. It's all just buzzwords. We're just waiting for on-chain and DeFi to get thrown around just to maybe some Web3, toss that in there. But really, if you look at it, they say that this Project Crypto, they want to make it so there's exemptions for activities like ICOs, airdrops, network rewards.
all the
and
stuff
other
that was
things.
illegal like a year
Yeah.
ago. It's
You
now
know,
going to be no roadblocks. Just go nuts.
we looked at the previous dude was there, didn't launch or didn't approve the ETF for a very long time, well after other countries have it, like Canada. He was very conservative with his approach with respect to Bitcoin and digital assets. Here, fuck, balls to the wall, man. Just anything goes. Whatever. If they want to do it, all the more power to them. I don't agree with it, but if they want to give people an opportunity to get wrecked in the process, fuck it. Let them get wrecked.
Yeah.
Buy
I do think
Bitcoin,
that's
I would suggest, but if you don't,
same. That's the right
run a
approach.
risk.
Like
Fuck it.
I do think that people should have to learn the hard way, but there's going to be a lot of people learning the hard way if this because the sort of tide around this is rising. Everyone is going to want to get into this stuff over the next little while, especially as this UK story continues to gain traction. I think a lot of people are going to realize, like, oh shit, I can't be in fiat currencies. I have to be in XYZ token. So what's the best one to buy? Well, it's the one that's just about to launch in this Telegram group or this pump and dump. Like, there's going to be people losing their shirts left, right, and center. So I don't know. The question I guess I have now is, what is the role for the SEC if not something like this? Like, then what are they doing?
Rubber stamping.
Basically, right?
Come
like
with an idea, approved.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Dr. Nick, giving prescriptions out. It's crazy that this is going to be the standard now. But I honestly don't know if, like I said, if they're not doing this, then what are they doing? Heaven only knows, because it seems to me like you're losing grip on what was a part of the crypto culture that was rampant with fraud, and it hasn't slowed down. If anything, it's speeding up and becoming more prevalent. And this is the time you're going to take a complete back seat. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But at least you could get wrecked.
There'll be a lot. It's good content for us. There's going to be a news story every week about someone losing their house or whatever on, poop coin, whatever's out there. What is it? You know what I wonder? Like, what is the responsibility of something like a company like Discord now? The SEC saying this stuff is allowed, but does Discord have any liability for these groups, the pump and dump groups? Does Twitter have liability for the group DMs where people are about to rip people off? I don't know.
Why should they?
I'm not sure.
They work hand in hand now.
I guess. Yeah.
I personally hope they approve some like incredible longs, like 100x or 1000x, just something that you could just put on YouTube or Twitch or something and monetize the fuck out of that and watch somebody just get absolutely wrecked when the price of Bitcoin goes down $5.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. Boomdust is asking, we'll be talking about your buddy Luke.
No, I mean his channels were all banned for a short time. I don't wish bad on anybody. Like, the guy did just get married and apparently there's a kid on the way. I wish him the best in that regard. I don't think anybody should have to worry about putting food on the table. But I mean, to pretend you don't see a pattern emerging with the bans,
it's a matter of time before we get it. But
we're not going to because we don't sell false advertising, right? Like, I do think also that there's some level of bot buying involved, if I had to guess. I don't know to exactly what extent, but again, I've talked about this before. I'll just mention it quickly. YouTube doesn't have much of an incentive to ban channels like that, even if they are buying bots, because views count. And YouTube, as we've discussed other places, Access of Easy, for example, YouTube is thinking now a lot more about how can we boost our income here, because ads on the search bar or search results are no longer viable. So, there's a lot to be said about YouTube and the current state of YouTube and what's rewarded by the algorithm, but I'm not the guy to ask about it. We don't get any views on YouTube. Basically, I would guess 97% of our plays come from audio. And, that we put out shorts that I make with AI, and sometimes they are a little sloppy, though not the most sloppy. We might get 150, 200,000 shorts views, sometimes more in a month. But, the point for us on the shorts is like, can we convert those into long form views? It's difficult because we're not making clickbait material. If you tune into CBP, you really get the best experience if you watch the full hour and a half. Whereas these other channels put out just garbage every day, where a guy is pretending to be surprised and then he reads an article while you look at the article on the screen. Like, that's not good content, but it does grab low IQ listeners and viewers, which our show does not.
This question from Torup, I don't understand it.
Is there a Bitcoin drum co yet to advertise the drum circle? I think that might be about Truth and Reconciliation Day. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Is that might be just my own sick mind? Maybe that was off color. Let's go on to let's go on to the other side of the store here or the show because we are an hour in. So
yeah, we're at that mark. We got to that.
Let's so yeah, if you're on video, stay with us. If you're live, if you're on Twitter too, I mean, I can see there's always a couple hundred people watching, which I appreciate. Stay with us, and if you're on audio, come back on Wednesday for the rest.
Don't be a bot.